record. You can introduce yourself again, Frank.
Oh, wow. Hi, Emma. I'm Frank. I'm in Ormskirk. It's famous. It's got a church. Not only that, it's got a church with a tower and a steeple. And not only that, they're at the same end as each other. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I'm a titan of trivia. Titan of trivia. Unfortunately, I've had to spend so much more of my time within walking distance of both that tower and that steeple in the last 6 months that they're getting sick of me.
Sick of the sight. Well, thanks, Frank, for joining me for a 10-minute scene. The first word that I saw here on my random word generator is lunch, which is very apt because it is kind of lunchtime. So lunch is our suggestion. And I'm going to set the timer whenever you're ready.
Oh, yeah. Thing I've noticed lately is hunger. I don't know if it's aging or not going out, but what time is it? It feels like it should be lunchtime, but I've just had my breakfast. I've just had toast. And toast can only be breakfast, right? Can't be lunch.
Well, it depends. If you put eggs on it, then it becomes a kind of brunch / lunch situation, you know. I mean, there's no doubting that you should be eating 3 square meals, you know, Keith, because you know, I can't keep popping in forever. I mean, I've got my own husband and family to look after next door. I can't be popping in here 3-4 times a day, Keith, to be making sure that you've had your food, your 3 square meals.
3 or 4 times a day, Sandy. 3 or 4 times. How many times have you been in today?
Well, this is the second pop in today because it's lunchtime. But as I say, Keith,
what day is it?
It's Tuesday.
Right. Maybe I dozed off because I thought you'd been in 6 or 7 times. Maybe I dozed off in between.
Well, possibly, Keith. This is why I've popped in to see you today because, you know, we were just talking. We love you dearly. We've been friends and neighbours for a good 20 years now, but we are a bit concerned about your constant napping, and you're not getting your 3 square meals a day. And we were just wondering maybe if, well, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like you're being, you know, do you feel like you're eating and sleeping regular?
Think about soup. Is that a square meal? Or is it round because you have it in a bowl? Like, does it count?
It's what I'd call a snack, Keith. I think it's just a snack, really.
A square meal if you like. Put it in a square bowl.
Well, you could put it in a square bowl, but it's whether it's square or round, it's probably not enough to count as a full proper meal, and that's what we're worried about. You know, me and a few of the other neighbours, we've been wondering about how we could look after you better.
Wondering, then wandering about like with the neighbours. Get anywhere nice?
I've been wandering with them and wondering. We're all concerned about you, Keith. We all love you to bits. You're at the heart of this cul-de-sac. You're the heart and soul of it, and we're just worried about you. Are you looking after yourself? Are you getting your meals and your naps and your sleeps? And you know, we've come to a decision.
You know that path?
Yes, go on.
That path between your house and Mrs. Galloway's.
Yes.
See, that's at the end. Even with that path leading through to Preston Avenue, does it still count as a cul-de-sac?
Well, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I mean that's just a little alleyway, isn't it? It's not classed. I mean, it's not classed as a through road. We live on this cul-de-sac. There's no through road. If you come into our cul-de-sac, you have to turn around and go out again.
So if you walk, but you can walk through.
Could walk through. Are you getting?
Yeah.
Are you getting? Keith, are you getting walks?
Yes, what month is it?
It's February.
Oh. Well, one month I had a walk through there. Maybe it was. Don't know. I dozed off. What were we saying before?
Well, this is what we're saying.
Yeah. If you have bread with it, is it a square meal?
Maybe if you put a bit of cheese on it, it becomes a little bit more square.
I tried that, but the cheese melts into the soup.
Right. Well, cheesy soup's no bad thing. You'd probably be better off putting the cheese on the bread and whatnot. But you know, more protein. The more protein you get, Keith, the more square of a meal it is. That's my opinion, and that's the opinion of the cul-de-sac. This is what I was trying to say. We love you dearly. You're the heart and soul, and we would like to make sure that you're taken care of a bit better, because we know you're on your own apart from us, your neighbours and friends. But how would you feel about being on a rotation? So you stay with me for a few days in the week, and then you go to Mrs. Jeffries at number 62 for a few days, and then you go to number 14, that's the Dickinsons. How would you feel about that? Because then we could like be making sure that you're getting looked after better, and we could share the load. Not that you're a load, but we can just share it out.
Because I think my bike's got a puncture.
Say that again.
You said if I'm going out to these places, these people, I think I'll need to fix the puncture on my bike.
Oh, okay.
Have you? Has anybody got a puncture repair kit? I don't. I'll have to look in the shed.
We can definitely sort you out with a puncture repair kit. I'm just wondering about the main proposal on the table. We could talk about the bikes in a bit, but the main proposal, Keith, is that you come round.
Table.
You come and stay with us, the neighbours, a few days a week.
Oh, I thought when you said table, I thought you were talking about soup and cheese on bread, or bread on cheese and in soup again.
No.
In the week.
Yeah, 3 days with me, a few days with Mrs. Jeffries, and a few days with the Dickinsons. And that way we can keep an eye on you 24/7 and look after you, take care. We all love you, you see. You're the heart and soul of this cul-de-sac. We really care a great deal for you, Keith.
It's like going on my holidays.
Oh, it's a bit like going on your holidays. That's right. It's a good
puncture fixed on my bike, and I can come round and I can put me. What can I bring? I can put something in my bag.
You could bring whatever you like. You could bring some cheese sandwiches. You could bring a parasol. You could bring a French English dictionary.
I could bring that bottle of wine from last Christmas, because I don't think I found a corkscrew.
No, we've got corkscrews.
Somebody will have a corkscrew.
Oh, somebody will. I've got corkscrews. The Dickinsons and the Jeffries have got a corkscrew, so you'd be no bother about that. So yeah, it would be like going on holiday.
Jeffries have got a dog, haven't they?
Say that again.
The Jeffreys, they still got that dog, the Yorkshire, what's it?
The Yorkshire what's it? Yeah, they do. Are you not so keen on the Yorkshire what's it?
Oh, it's all right. Just can't understand his accent.
No. No,
But
he doesn't speak Lancashire. He speaks Yorkshire. He's a Yorkshire what's it?
aye. Well, that's what I always tell him anyway.
As long as you're not allergic. I mean, I know that the Yorkshire Whatsit feels very fondly for you, as we all do. Everyone here in the cul-de-sac loves you to bits, Keith, and we'd like to tuck you under our wing a little bit. Rally round like a community. Well, we are a community. We'd like to rally round. Take care of you.
Used to do that in the Cubs rally.
That's right.
Remember that?
That's right.
One of them Cubs things we did.
That's right.
Yeah.
You had a great time at the Cubs. You rose through the ranks, I seem to remember, and you became the scout leader.
Best woggle tire, yes. That was it. I got badges for it.
That's right.
Yes.
You were the best tire in the troop.
Yeah. I'm not so good with tires now. I think my bike's got a puncture.
Yeah, we could sort out your bike. No problem at all. No problem. And don't worry about having to fiddle with ties. If ever you need to wear a tie when you're on holiday with us, we can tie it for you. But I don't think you'll be needing a tie, really, Keith. Do you?
We're not going to the Grand at Blackpool, are we?
Well, we could do if you'd like to. I know you've won a few dancing competitions there.
Tie for that, but otherwise, no, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, how's about that then? You come round to mine. I can help you pack your little suitcase, a bit like Paddington Bear. Just pack up your little suitcase. We can put all your bits in that you'll need.
My bike bag.
Say that again.
So put them in my bag. Put my bag on my bike. Check I've not got a puncture. Then I come round. How long will it take me?
Well, that'll take you about 30 seconds. Not a long bike ride. I'm only next door.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
30-second bike ride to us next door, and then you can stay with us for a 3-day holiday.
Wow.
And then maybe go to the Jeffreys for another 3-day holiday.
Jeffreys, yeah.
And then maybe the Dickinsons for a 2-day holiday before you come back to me again.
A bit posh, aren't they, Dickinsons?
They are a bit posh.
That's
where you might need your tie.
Right. Might need me tie. Yeah.
But if anyone can afford to take you to Blackpool, it's the Dickinsons. They go up there quite a lot. They've got a very bijou hotel up there that they like to go and stay in. I'm sure they'd be happy to take you as well.
Like a caravan?
It's a bit more posher than that. You know what the Dickinsons are like.
Do they have posh soup?
Oh, yeah. They have posh soup. And you know what else? They have their soup in square bowls, and they have their bread crusty with cheese on, toasted. I mean, that's how posh they are. Classy.
I've heard about that. There's a word for that, isn't there? Square and food. What is it when you have soup and toast?
It's
meal,
called
that's it.
A square meal.
Meals.
They have square meals, the Dickinsons. That's right.
Meals.
They have square meals. They're that posh.
Well, that's what posh people do.
Yeah. That's what posh people do.
Right.
So how about it? Come with me now. Pack a little soup.
Well, I don't think I've got anything on. I've lost my calendar, but I'm pretty sure nothing's up. Somebody was going to come. Oh no, it was you, wasn't it? You were going to come round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll come round.
right. I'll go and see if I've got a puncture repair kit.
You do that. And scene. Yay. I absolutely loved that scene. I loved those characters. They were so sweet.
Yes, I slipped into your axe quick because I can't beat that.
That was great. I really enjoyed that. It felt like
I
a
often wonder about those.
Go on.
I wonder slightly, especially with a mother with dementia, whether it's mocking the afflicted. That's the only thing when they do things like that. I know it's something I've slipped into once or twice in the past.
Yeah, I think that was a really tender scene. So I think if like the characters, if we'd been like taking the the Mickey out of the characters, and I think that's what brought dodgy ground. But I think that was a really tender scene. Lots of love and care and attention given. So
Because your character always stayed sympathetic and made what I said relevant.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my granddad had dementia as well, and I actually really used to enjoy having conversations with him because I would just go wherever he went. So, like, because I think quite a common reaction, which is totally understandable, is if a loved one has dementia, you try and pull them out of it somehow and say that's not true or that didn't happen or whatever. Whereas for me, as an improviser, I was like, I'm just going to yes and, just whatever granddad is saying, I'm just going to yes and that because like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's right or correct or factually true or whatever or not. It's more like I'm just going to sympathetically yes and it and enjoy it. But it is hard because obviously they're not the people they used to be fully.
Yeah, my dad and his dad. So guess where I'm going to go? Because I remember my granddad was in hospital for about 4 years, and it was bleak. It was horrible in those days. It was in the 70s in Bolton General. God, it was depressing. Or Bolton Royal, I think. And then my dad went into a home in his 80s, and but at the beginning, he would be in a different time and place in the past, and I'd be someone else, and so. But it was a bit like, do you ever see Waiting for God? Stephanie Cole.
Oh, sorry, no.
Graham Crowley.
No, I didn't see that.
They're so good. Stephanie Cole is just one of the top.
Yeah.
Isn't she? And Graham Crowley is the. That's good for me, remembering two actors' names in a go. Waiting for God used to be on, and it was a bit. My dad was that was done to comic effect. He was flying a plane in the war, or he was something. It was like that. It was only sad when we stopped my dad eating, he lost interest and he just stayed in bed. But and my mum now, it's hard with my mum because mostly she's very passive, and you have to make all the conversation, and she repeats the same tropes. She's got certain things she talks about. All the health visit, the carers who come in professionally love it. But I've noticed she's also started to invent things. She's been places that I know she hasn't been. And, that's the hardest thing, not to correct her.
Yeah.
It's the same story pretty much, but it's about a different place and I know she's not been to Canada, South Africa or Australia.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's hard, isn't it? Yeah. I think everyone has to just deal with that in their own subjective way, whatever works for you. But I certainly found it useful to kind of basically improvise, yes and.
I'm not going to remember if I correct her, and she's probably going to say it again. So there's no point.
Yeah, and what does it matter?
Yeah.
We may as well yes that reality because it's it doesn't. like in her world right now, that where she's at, that's true. So okay, it's true.
Bit less creative than my dad. So if I ask a question, oh, so what you know, what kind of place did your dad live in West Africa? I mean, that bit was true, but then she just sort of closes down. And
Yeah,
she just
yeah,
down, and my
yeah,
dad might have actually made up something quite interesting.
yeah. It's such a tough one, isn't it? It's so hard. It is a really tough situation. But yeah, tenderness and care and sympathy, empathy is all we can do, I guess. Yeah. So I want to talk about network theatre a little bit, because like it's such a cool thing that how long has network theatre been going, and tell us about it.
Well, have you heard of Graham Frood
No.
and his wife Joan? You'll have seen their names if you've been in the Unity, because the Unity Theatre, Unity 1, I think, has a permanently lit seat, and that's dedicated to Graham, and there's a plaque with Joan's name on as well, because they were involved as founders of the Unity Theatre, because that was converted from, was it a church or a synagogue
It's a synagogue.
in the 80s,
Mm.
and they had this opportunity. Now, Unity Theatre already existed as a company. I wasn't around in the 80s, but it was a kind of itinerant workers theatre group or socialist theatre group.
Yeah.
And Graham was a teacher who had actually come from where I grew up originally, in his very early 20s, moved up from Basford, which is on the border of Stoke and Newcastle under Lyme. And he came to Liverpool and stayed the rest of his life. And he was a founder member of a group in the 1930s called, I think it was called Merseyside Left Theatre originally. And then it became known as the Unity Theatre, because that was a big way. He worked with Joan Littlewood at the Theatre Workshop of East London fame. And he and his wife Joan were stalwarts, obviously, of this company called Unity Theatre. And when they got the chance to actually build a theatre or convert that building, most of the company's energies, I think, went into that. But there were some people who wanted, and Graham among them, who wanted to keep a kind of amateur, semi-educational group going that put on shows in different places, and that became known as the Network.
Oh.
And I think it took on that name in the mid-80s. And I met Graham in about 99, 2000. I knew him by sight from a while before then, but and they were down to a couple of members, meeting once a week, and somebody who was in another theatre group with me was one of his neighbours and introduced us and a few other people who've been in this other group. And we started putting on plays under the Network name in 99 or 2000. And
wow. So it's actually 20 years now that you've been involved with the Liverpool Network Theatre.
About 20 years, yeah. Wow. One of the first of our summer outdoor shows that I was involved with was As You Like It in 2001. And we did As You Like It again last year.
Amazing. So this is a drama group for anyone. You run it on a Tuesday night, don't you? So it's a drama theatre group for anyone in the community on a Tuesday, every Tuesday night.
Yeah, basically we do a workshop every Tuesday. We've just radically changed it from 7 to 7:30 because we reckon more people are more comfortable to come on. So we've been doing it on Zoom since March or April. I think we had the odd one where we just exchanged banter on Facebook, and then we thought we'll take this on Zoom, which I had originally paid for from the School of English, but they only paid for the first month because then they put us on furlough. But I decided to keep it on.
Yeah,
sort of
premium
Zoom.
Well worth it, yeah. So can people can find you on Facebook, Liverpool Network?
And now it's not like that. It's just stopped being my Zoom as well. We bought our own as the company So on Facebook, if you look at Liverpool Network Theatre, there's usually a reminder of the link, goes up every Tuesday, and a bit of blurb about who's running. That's me tonight, running the workshop. Better not forget. And we've had a couple of, so because I was talking to you about it before, we check on that it wasn't clashing. We've done the odd social. We had a review night, and we're going to do another one for Halloween on the Friday, where anyone can do a 5-minute sketch or monologue or whatever. These are just all things that we would normally have done in the casa or in a pub or wherever.
Yeah.
We'll have a Christmas games night. The only thing we've been doing some play readings as well on Thursdays.
Wow. This is
fantastic.
fantastic.
The Admirable Pride.
It's such a fantastic resource for people in Liverpool to, if you're interested in doing a bit of acting and a bit of drama, and it's like, it's exactly what it was set out to be, which is like community led and community driven and educational theatre practice, which I just think is incredible that you are a real strong community because you have all these social elements as well to it. It's really great.
It is. It's absolutely that, and in a way, even more so with it being online. Although there is a downside, because as you know, people like Eddie, and we have a few people. Nobody's quite like Eddie, nobody in the world, but there are a few people who are potentially a bit socially isolated or have got anxiety issues, various things, who come to network who are just either not comfortable or not able to get online, and would probably be encouraged if somebody could just be behind them and showing them the button a couple of times, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
So we are missing a few people who were pretty regular.
Yeah.
On the other hand, most of the people who've joined in on Zoom have stayed with us. But it's open to, years. I was talking to one of the other teachers at the School of English actually about something completely different on a WhatsApp message, and he said, by the way, do you still do your theatre group on a Tuesday? Because I've been wanting to do something like that, and
right. It is.
Now and again somebody new joins in.
Yeah, it's very well established because you've been consistently Tuesday night Liverpool Network Theatre. That's been a part of the scenery for 20 years. So it's like you're very embedded. The Network Theatre is very embedded. So people would have heard.
And you'll always hear me say, any other theatre group around Liverpool, there's some great actors around. All of them have got somebody who's been through network, at least been in a show with us or came to workshops at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's great. Awesome. Well, thank you for doing this 10-minute scene with me. I'm going to stop the recording now, and I will signpost people to Liverpool Network Theatre in the comments. But thank you, Frank, for doing a 10-minute, a very tender, touching, personal kind of 10-minute scene. It felt really nice. So we could say goodbye to the world. Goodbye.
Always a pleasure. See you on Comedy Improv as well.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.